If you're on the market for a B550 motherboard under $200, you should definitely take a look at MSI MPG B550 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the features and I'm going to show you what's inside the box. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, now let's take a look inside the box. Okay. So as we open the box, we can see that there's a motherboard itself, obviously.
Well, duh.
This aside. So it comes with Wi-Fi antennas for your Wi-Fi 6, and then we have the addressable RGB cable in case you want to connect some LED strips or maybe RGB fans, and then looks like a couple SATA cables that would be useful to connect some extra storage in case you need them. And then it comes with the 3 M.2 screws, or is it 2? 3 M.2 screws, and then with the drivers and utilities disc, some booklet, thank you card, join rewards card, looks like dragon sticker for MSI, and then stickers for your SATA cables, so you can mark what you have for the SATA cables and put the stickers on them to keep it nice and clean. It's a really good sign from MSI. Case standoff notification, quick installation guide, and user manual. And looks like that's it. So let's unpack the motherboard and let's see what it looks like. Now let's go ahead and talk about the features of this motherboard. So this is a standard AM4 socket type motherboard that out of the box supports Ryzen 3000 series, except for the ones that I mentioned earlier, which is 3400G and 3200G CPUs. It features massive VRM heatsink, and that's one of the main reasons why I chose this motherboard over any other. In fact, it performs really well across the other B550 motherboards in the price range. And yeah, so basically the VRM and the Wi-Fi 6 are the two main features that made me choose this motherboard for my build that I'm about to do, and for a mid-range PC, and I'm going to be pairing it with a Ryzen 5 3600, which is still I think it's the best value on the market in terms of the processors that you can buy for a budget or mid-range PC. So we're going to start from the top left corner. We're going to go around the clock looking at the connections. In terms of terminal performance, if you want to know more, you can check out the guys at Hardware Unboxed that did awesome testing of these motherboards, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it. They helped me choose this motherboard. That's why I suggest you go and check out the awesome job that they did. So if we're gonna start from the top left corner, we have a standard 8-pin connector for the to power your CPU. Going further, we have two CPU fan and pump fan. This is in case if you want to do any of the AIO, some liquid cooling. These are the two connectors you're gonna use. And then what else it has? It features actually two addressable RGB connectors, the 3-pin. So in case you want to connect an LED strip, or in my case, I'm going to be using easy DIY fans from Amazon that are going to be synchronized with the LEDs are located around the chipset, and also with the LEDs on the case. So I have actually two connectors. One is here and one is here. So my fans are going to go here, and my case LED is going to go here. So it has two of the addressable RGBs. Going further, we have two fan connectors. There's an awesome feature, which is this LED, Debug LED Lights, which will help you figure out if there's any issue with your build. So it will tell you whether you have problems with CPU, your RAM, boot, or VGA. This is awesome in case you built your PC and you don't know what's going on. This little LED will light up and will let you know. Then we have standard 24-pin connector for the motherboard power supply. Another awesome feature is we have the USB Type-C to connect to the front of your case in case you have space for that. But I have a space, but I don't have the cable right now, which I'm probably going to do later, but this is an awesome feature as well. Then we have these gigabyte per second SATA connectors right there, and one more fan connector located down here. Okay. Then we have our addressable RGB connector, so it has two, one here and one connection here. And then we have where we connect the front panel of the case, basically your power light, power button, HDD light, and reset button all go here. Further on, we have the one GFP2 connection. The GFP2 connection is used to connect either buzzer or speakers, internal speakers. Further, we have the USB 3.2 connection that can go in the front of your case in case you have one. And then we have two USB 2.0 connections right here at the bottom. Further, we have another fan connection, and then we have the LED switch. In case you don't like the RGB lights around the chipset, you can always turn them off by turning the switch. That's the feature that I mentioned earlier in the video. Next, we have another system fan connector, and then we have RGB connector. And this is non-addressable RGB. It's the same one as here. I think I missed this one, so let me show it again. This connector and this connector are for regular RGB, non-addressable RGB, and those are 12-volt connectors. So please make sure if you have addressable RGB, don't plug them in this one and this one's, because you might burn your LED lights. And next we have here audio connections, HD audio, in case you have any audio jacks in front of the case. Yeah, that's about it on this side. And now let's go a little bit up. So we have PCIe 3.0 times 1, PCIe 3.0 times 16, and PCIe 3.0 times 1. And then we have another PCIe 3.0 M.2 or SATA connector right here. Then moving up, we have next one, the really 2-pin connector here, which is called JBAT, is the one that you can use to reset your BIOS in case of any BIOS trouble. Then we have two PCIe 4.0, one times 16 and one for your M.2 storage, with this nice looking heatsink, or it's called Frozen Shield, and supposedly it can keep the temperatures of your storage nice and cool if it's running hot. Then just above the M.2 slot and below the heatsink, we have another fan connector, and right next to it we have TPM connection, which adds extra security, but that's mainly for the enterprise PCs or laptops. Most likely you will never use that. And I think this covers most of the connections and features over here on this side. So I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna show you which type of external connections it has here on the IO shield. So going from the top, we have a flash BIOS button. This is the button you would use to flash your BIOS. For instance, if you need to update it to the one that is compatible with Ryzen 5000 series processors. And next we have the slot where you would enter the stick with your BIOS update. And then we have 2.0, USB 2.0. We have the peripheral connection for your mouse and keyboard. We have HDMI and DisplayPort. And then we have two USB 3.2 Gen 1 with the speeds up to 5 gigabytes per second. And we have our LAN 2.5 gigabyte LAN connection. Next we have two USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A and Type C connections with speeds up to 10 gigabytes per second. Right below that we have our connections for our antennas for Wi-Fi 6, and just below that we have audio connections. And in
Hammer time!
Hey, you all, in case you need it, you have also SPDIF out connection. And yeah, these are all the features of or I should say external connections for this motherboard. So this is a nice looking motherboard. It's not too flashy or anything like that. It features a simple black, white, and gray design. And in case you don't like any RGBs, you can easily turn them off. As I said earlier, I love RGB, so I'm just gonna leave that on, and I'm gonna add extra addressable RGB fans. And I'm also gonna have addressable RGB in front of the case with my VNV LAN cool 2. So that's the build I'm gonna be working on with this motherboard. Alright, so this concludes my review of this B550 motherboard. If you enjoyed it and you found some information that was useful, please hit the like button, and also please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.